We get the final Rick Mercer report coming up tonight on the CBC, and it's always great to chat with Rick Mercer, especially all things politics going
Yay!
on. Morning, Rick.
Good morning.
Oh, you're like
We're having a Rihanna dance party.
You like the Rihanna song?
Oh,
You know, a
times.
lot of S&M going on in politics right now.
oh,
too.
that's right.
Do you know, I want to talk, Rick, because it is the final Rick Mercer report tonight on the CBC. So we're going to wish you well for the summer and what you're going to be doing tonight on the show. But, boy, you got to have some thoughts about what these wieners are doing for May the 2nd coming up with going back to the polls.
Oh, yeah. You know, it's all about timing. I was taping my last rant of the year, and I went in the alley. We had a government. I came out. It was gone. I don't know what happened.
Because you're like a giant ripe peach when it comes to this
Right.
stuff.
So I love this stuff. You know, I mean, elections are like the Super Bowl for me, but they used to happen only every, 5 years. Now they happen every year and a half or so. So, I like them, of course. I don't actually believe there's no such thing. I don't believe there's a such thing as an unnecessary election. I think elections happen when they happen, and they usually happen for a reason. And they cost money, but it's the cost of doing business. I mean, in this instance, the government fell. I mean, the majority of the MPs in the House of Commons defeated the government on a confidence motion, and that doesn't happen every day as much as people might think it does. And it is the cost of doing business. So here we are. We're back at the polls.
Now, Rick, I've been following you on Twitter.
Yes.
And some early pet peeves that are emerging about the election thus far. And one of them is that everyone's asking Jack Layton about his health. Is that...
Well, you know what? That just bugged the hell out of me because on the day one, the government fell. Everyone got out there. Stephen Harper went up there and he made a statement and refused to take questions. And then Michael Ignatieff went up there, made a statement, took questions, didn't give any answers. And then Jack went up there and. Jack is born for this. He's born to campaign. This is what this man is on earth for, And he's about to go into the Jack mode, and they're asking very personal questions about his health and about his PSA numbers and his this cancer test number and that cancer test number. And what was bugging me about it is we generally don't do that in Canadian politics. We don't demand to know the personal health status of our politicians, of people becoming prime ministers and such. Unlike in the United States, we don't ask what medication they're on or any of that business. And with Jack, why it was happening is because the Conservatives had fanned out, and the day before it was so like Mike Duffy was on radio in Nova Scotia, and Mike was saying, "Oh, I gotta tell you, I saw Jack in person. Big pause. Oh, it's not good. Not good.
Yeah.
He doesn't look good. Oh, he's a valiant man for trying to carry on." It was disgusting. It was completely disgraceful. He was trading on a man's cancer, his battle with cancer, and so Jack had to go out there and answer all this stuff. So that bugged me because already first day out of the gates we'd sunk to yet another low.
So, we love the Mike Duffy impersonation too. Bang on. Talk about what's on the show tonight. A final Rick Mercer report.
It's a good show tonight. I go to Grossmore National Park.
You're hanging out with the moose.
With moose. There's a picture in the Globe and Mail today of me and the moose. It's unbelievable. I go to Grossmore National Park with Parks Canada. They're doing a survey, a census, if you will, on the moose. There's a lot of them out there, but they're testing the health. They want to know about the health of the population and the effect that they're having on other species, et cetera, because there's so many of them and they eat so much, of course. So we tag moose. So I'm in helicopters flying over herds of moose, and then we sedate a moose, and then I'm like hanging out with the moose, and I'm like all things moose, and so it's spectacular scenery. Like we're like buzzing up fjords and stuff in this spectacular area of Canada. And then on top of that, we have like amazing footage of these animals running and herding and the whole 9 yards. It's just really, it's mind-blowing. It was way up there in terms of a life experience, I tell you.
Now, what are they like? Are they temperamental?
Well, with a little sedative, they're good.
like all of us.
All wild animals, and you treat them very gently with kid gloves. I mean, literally, because they're moose. They're about the size of a SUV. So you wouldn't want one turning on you. That's for sure.
And then also, I know this is very near and dear to your heart, the winners of the Spread the Net Challenge.
Oh, yeah, and those guys were great. There was a university and a high school. So the university is at UNBC, University of Northern British Columbia, a small university. And then the high school was Espanola High School in Espanola, Ontario, Northern Ontario. And they did a tremendous job, like 600 kids. in a small school, raised over $13,000.
That's amazing.
And they really worked it. You know, they worked it. They worked the community, and they worked the fundraisers, and they made all sorts of personal sacrifices, and they just did a bang-up job. And they also put on a great show for me when I got there, and it's a really fun piece, and it's funny, and you get to meet these kids who you just, you know, the feeling that you get is like, wow, that, you know, the future is fine, the kids are all right.
Rick, you know, it's going to be fun to tune in tonight, but and like the television show, you were everywhere. We wish you a great spring and a summer, and we look forward to seeing you again coming up this September.
Thanks very much.
Barry's Hit Music, B101.